Okay, you Math 7 students that are still hanging tough out there in the land of COVID and quarantine, time for a little answer key to go up. And I'll sneak in maybe a little instruction, but I'll try to stick to just making the answer key so you can check your work. And if you don't understand maybe why you got an answer different than mine, maybe that's a good time to send me an email or a private comment through Google Classroom. Here we go. Today, numbers 1 through 11 on page 56, we're going to identify the percent change as an increase or a decrease. And remember, that's always compared to the original. Compared to original. Okay. So, and then we're actually going to calculate or find the percent change. And this is just the directions from the book, round to the nearest tenth if we need to. Number 1, started with 8, went to 10. Did it increase or decrease? It increased by that amount. So we take the amount of change, divide it by the original. I'll just do this on this one problem. We always find the amount of change, put it over the original. And then, in this case, you could use long division. You may already know this one, but I'm just going to say 2 divided by 8, and I get this decimal. If I wanted to round to the nearest tenth, what would it be? It would round to 3/10, but I kind of like leaving that there. So so let's get rid of that. To make it into a percentage, we multiply it by 100. Why? Go ahead and say this decimal correctly. If you say it right, here we go, together. 1, 2, 3, 25 100ths. If you say it correctly, then you're actually writing it as a percent because it's 25 out of 100. So therefore it's what percent? 25%. Okay, so our important steps here, which will now blaze through the rest of these. Let's get my green out here. We find the amount of change. We put it over the original. We divide numerator divided by denominator, which is the original. We get a decimal. We say the decimal out of 100, and then that gives us the percent. You could also remember, take that decimal and multiply by 100. The result is the same. Okay, here we go, number 2. It changes from 15 to 18. Did it go up or down? Up. Right. By how much? 3. What's the original? 15. We divide on the calculator. 3 divided by 15. What is it? 2/10. What happens if I add a 0 there? Here, does it change anything? No. Now say it. 20 100ths. Oh, look, it's 20 out of 100, or 20%. Very nice. The only question now is, what color do I choose? Well, depending on how my camera's working, it looks to me like red, but who knows how it comes out on the other end. We start with 60, it goes to 40. Is that an increase or decrease? Right. It goes down. By how much? 60 minus 40 is 20. It decreased by 20. What's the original? Delta is a sign for change. Change by 20. Original is 60. You might recognize that as being the same as 1 out of 3. But if you don't, you go 1 divided by 3 and you get this crazy decimal. Here's one of those cases where we have 33 and a third repeating out of 100. So we can't really be precise with a percentage, but we could say 33 and 1/3. We can keep the fraction. Now it's precise. It's exact, okay? 33 and 1/3%. What color should I use now? 1, 2, 3. Okay, blue. The winner is blue. Number 4. Changing from 120 to 60 is a decrease of 60 over the original. 60 out of 120 is 50%. Well, on the calculator it comes up as 0.5, kids like to say. We add the 0, we say 50/100ths, so it's 50%. Remember to say the word decrease though, since it went down. Okay, I'm going to stick with blue now that we're on a roll. You can always go back to the instruction here to remember the algorithm, or you could just look above in your book on page 56. Number 5. It started at 45, went to 60, whatever it is, the price of a pair of shoes or something. Did it increase or decrease? It increased. How much? 15. 15 compared to the original 45. And look, we kind of already did this same thing up here. This simplifies to 1 out of 3. And so we get the same answer as number 3, 33 and 1/3%. We want precision. Okay, I'm going to stick with blue because I'm going faster now. Try to keep up. 95 changes to 80. Increase or decrease? Decrease by how much? 15. 15 out of the original of 95. I don't know that one off the top of my head. That's what calculators are for. If I have it set up the right way, then this will give me the right answer. But a calculator will only give you the right answer if you set it up the right way. I'm going to round that off to 16/100ths, which is 16%. Notice how I'm still talking through it, but I showed and taught all the stuff on number 1, number 2, number 3. Now we're just kind of cutting right to, did it go up or down, by how much, divide it into the original. Okay, so it decreased by 16%. Getting tired of blue yet? Too bad. Hang with me for one more. We're starting with 88. Hey, isn't 44 half of 88? Half is what percent? If you use a calculator, you get that. And whoa, we already did that. 4 and 7, they're the same. And it decreased. Wow, so easy. Don't you love it? 50% decrease. Question is, can we fit 8, 9, 10, and 11 on here? To do that, I'm going to change to a straight up ballpoint pen. I'm going to get ready here to squeeze it in. There's the bottom of the page. Good old black Cristal 1.6 ballpoint pen. These are the best ever. Number 8. changed from 4 to 12? Did it go up or down? Increase. By how much? 8. 8, what's the original? 4. 8 compared to 4 is 2. 2 is what percent? We just doubled it. So that's 200%. That's where you might want to remember that you multiply by 100. Remember up here? Multiply by 100. If you're not sure what to do, you get a whole number like that. You're like, what? And just, oh yeah, that. Number 9. Woo! From 50 to 60. Mental math tells me that's going to be a 20% increase. But mean teachers like me always want you to show your work. Plus, it's important that you can show your work, which demonstrates you actually understand. So it increased by 10. 10 out of 50. We can cut the zeros off, call that 1 out of 5. Do the calculator thing, and there we end up with our 20% increase because it went up, it got bigger. This was also an increase of 200%. It increased by double what the original was. 200%. Number 10. It's going to be tough. I'm going to start over here and use this room, and then I'll take number 11 down here. Okay, number 10. 1990, there were 2. That's the original. In 2017, here, let's show this one. Okay, original. If you print the page, you can write in your book too. It's kind of satisfying. A long time later, geez, that's a separate math problem. A long time later, it's 21. Find the percent. Okay, so 2 to 21. Let's go down here to where we're showing our work. It started at 2, it went to 21. Increase of 19. Sorry if I'm talking loud. You might have to adjust your volume down. Increased by 19 compared to the original. Remember, original always on the bottom. And we can see this is going to be 9.5. Check it on your calculator. But then you're going to do that last step, multiply by 100, which means move the decimal 2 spots over. And 950% increase. That's good. But do you know how big the Senate is? There are there 2 from every state or just 1? I don't know. But I think there's 100 total in there, 2 from every state. That's still a long way to go as far as gender equality goes, but it's a good increase. The thing about huge increases like that is when you're starting with a super low number, obviously you're going to get a huge increase even if it only moves by 1 or 2. Okay, enough of that. Back to number 11, our last one. Yeehaw! See how awesome this pen is? Look at that. Look at that line. It's so smooth, thick, easy to read, right? Okay. Average price of gasoline was $1.51 back in the olden days. And then in the few years back, it was $2.41. Today, it's even lower. Gas prices have gone down during our quarantining time. So we're changing from $1.51 to $2.41. So we find the difference. Did it increase or decrease? It went up by 90 cents. So if I take that 90 cents, divide it into the original, it might not be obvious at first. Thumbprint, sorry, this makes the video longer. But we're just going to take our 90 divided by 151. Why didn't I use the decimal? Since they both have the decimal in the hundredths place, I don't really need it. I get 60%. And let me prove that by putting the decimals in. You could say, Mr. Witcher, you're just voodoo magic. You can't actually do that. Well, let's go ahead and put the decimals in and see what we get. I got the same exact answer, which I rounded off. 60% increase. And that's it for this video. Took us 15 minutes, including lots of talking by me. But what I'm hoping is you now have an amazing answer key, which I will take a picture of. I'll post this, but the video is money, baby. Let's go! Thank you for watching.